Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with renowned trainer Shane McGuigan ahead of Caroline Dubois and Ellie Scotney, double duty this weekend. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Trying to juggle the fight week schedule, but I was over at Ellie's public workout yesterday, or media workout. We're here today, and then weigh-ins tomorrow and fight night. So looking forward to it.
I know, look, this is something that you can tackle, but I want to tackle this question head on. Is this not a problem now that it's affecting, these schedule clashes, affecting trainers who have to go across the breadth of London, whatever it is? Is this not becoming a problem in the foreseeable future as well, to juggle this sort of responsibility as well, to have two fighters in different locations?
Yeah, especially with a fighter like myself that's got people on different platforms. If you like Tony Sims, for instance, I think he's got 3 out on Saturday night, but he's got 3 on the same bill. Maybe 4 actually. He's got Jimmy Sains as well. So he's got a really busy night, but they're all on the one card, and he works with one promoter. So for myself, obviously working with different, and I've had it in the past. I've had to figure out dates and can't do this one, or and it's really shit. But that's just the way it is, unfortunately. But the most important thing is the box is a priority. Thankful that they're both on in London. We've got a really good assistant boxing coach in Josh Pritchard that can tape hands perfectly. So he's going to stay here with Caroline, with my dad. They're going to keep her nice and calm. I'm going to go over with CBS over to Wembley, and obviously my brother as well, Jake. He's going to come with me, and then we'll make our way over to York Hall with Jumbo, Ian Johnson, Cutsman. So busy night for all of us, but get 2 wins, we could all walk away happy, and but let's try to do this again. But it was out of our hands, unfortunately.
Man, it's you doing it and not myself. Look, getting into your fighters, Caroline Dubois, we've spoken to her about the talent that she has. I want to focus on specifically, first of all, the confidence, the infectious smile that you bring out of her when you speak to her too. It seems like boxing with yourself and you training her has brought out a level that we've not seen from her at all on the TV cameras or the cameras at all. Yeah,
I think like GB, it's a very it's a survival place. You've got to get up there. You've got 3 or 4 people in your weight division. Every day's a chore. They get you in a track at 7 in the morning. Every day's a Groundhog Day. Whereas when you're in the pros, it's like you're boxing people like you're scheduled to be. You can figure out your style. You get a chance to work with a coach that will know what your strengths are, know what your work on your weaknesses, but also try and excel those strengths. And it's just more of an enjoyable. You're boxing 4 or 5 times a year. You're not boxing 12 times a year, so you get a chance to sort of fluctuate a little bit with your food as well. So the pros has definitely suited her mentality towards sport. She's from London as well, and she's in a happy place. I'm really happy for her. And she's growing up as a woman, and all of this is a lot to take on. Cameras. I remember for her debut, it was like she went to the Olympics, boxing in front of millions of people on TV, but you're in an empty arena. You're in a very it was COVID time, so it was a really empty arena. But most international tournaments are in front of minimal crowd. But then her debut was on the undercard of Liam Williams versus Chris Eubank Jr., which was a raucous crowd. And even though she was 2 or 3 fights before, it was overwhelming. It was the cameras. It was never her opponent. So she grew up fast in a professional game, and I think it's great to see it.
Great to see indeed. Look, IBO World Title, not seen as a legitimate World Title from the boxing hardcores, but you feel this is something that give her a bargaining chip, and then she might be ready now, or at least 1 or 2 fights for those World Title shots.
Yeah, I think there's a great pool of fighters that we can fight in the lightweight division, and we're in a platform that they can push her as a headline. Maybe not even a headline, maybe it's just chief support, but give her that exposure to be able to grow under the lights with decent opponents in front of her, and whether we can get a proper world title afterwards, like an IBF or a WBA, but Katie Taylor holds all of them, even though she's rematching up there. It'll be interesting to see what she does after her fight with Chantel Cameron, the second one, whether she vacates. And we're aligning ourselves with the governing bodies, because she wants those major titles. She wants to be seen as the number 1 in the division. She is in BoxRec. but BoxRec's not, it's not reality. It's go out there, and I'm more than confident that she will be the number one in the division in the next 6 to 10 months. But you just need those fights to showcase it.
You're focusing on a couple of the other fights. So I saw Chris Smith. I can see him over there in conversation. Whispers are that Arsene Guillemarian has signed with Boxer. Don't know if you heard those. Possible fight there?
Yeah, I heard that a while ago, but I'm not too sure right now. So, we've got our sights set on a few things, and obviously unification is one of them that's drawing us towards it. And you've got Jordan Thompson versus Ortega this weekend. Chris is working the commentary for BBC Radio 5 Live, so he's going to be close eye on that. Lawrence wants his rematch. The WBO want to force a mandatory as well. So we've got a lot of things that has to get sorted, but we're pretty confident that we'll be out before the end of the year, and hopefully news will be coming quite soon.
Most likely against Lawrence.
Most likely against Lawrence, yeah.
A fight that, look, if you were in control of Lawrence, obviously you've got Chris Smith, so it's a bit of a weird question, but not one that you maybe advise for Lawrence?
I can't speak on his behalf, and I think no matter what I say, it could get turned against me. So I'm sure he's got his ideas of where he wants his career to go. But one thing I would say is it's a confidence sport, and when you're active and when you're winning, you build that confidence, and that is that would be a priority if I was there.
I'll just get your thoughts on a couple of things. I'll let you go. I know you're obviously going to be busy in a second. Conor Benn returned to the ring last weekend. Obviously divides opinion. Where do you stand on the divide on him returning to the ring and looking to take on a fight with Eubank Jr. again?
Once again, it's a hard one to comment on. I mean, obviously, I'm not a scientist. I don't know the amount and the extent of the substances within the tests. And I completely understand if there's any sort of banned substance, then you shouldn't be boxing. But one thing I would say is that in the UK it wasn't a banned. From what I've heard, it wasn't a banned substance, and in America it is. So it might not have been a real hardcore drug. But once again, I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to that sort of stuff. So but I feel for him from a personal standpoint because of this stick that he's come under, and that's never nice. This world's a cruel world, and emotions run high. You know what I mean? Especially in young alpha males like he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's built up on confidence. Everyone loves him, and then everyone hates his guts 2 minutes later. So, just from a mentality standpoint, I sit back and worry a little bit about what that individual has to go through, and his team around him, what they have to go to and what they have to endure. But I don't condone drugs in boxing either. So so once again, hard for me to comment on it. But I didn't watch the fight, and I don't think he should have the Eubank fight. I think he should go and try and, because really, it's a good fight, but he hasn't won a world title. He should try and win a world title. You know what I mean? But where's Terence Crawford going to be in a few months' time? Is he going to vacate? There's chance for a few belts to come to come loose. And if you're a real fighter, you really want to go after those titles. You don't want to be going after the big cash out fights until you've achieved that. So be interested to see his next move.
Let me pick your mind on Zhang versus Joyce too. It was an emphatic finish. Not a lot of people predicted that would happen. Not a lot of people predicted the first fight would happen the way it did happen. A lot of people now talking about Joe Joyce his punch resistance being gone, not being ready at the top level, good enough for the top level. Do you feel that way, having seen Zhang versus Joyce too, about Joe Joyce and his future in the sport?
No, I just said it before. I think that shot would have knocked out like 99% of heavyweights, and he wasn't out cold. He was down. He got up. A bit like Tyson Fury when he got hit with that right hand, or multiple times out of his trilogy fights by Wilder. Those shots put people to sleep, and he goes down. He got up. He just didn't get up within the 10 count. He still got up at about 9 or 10. He just wasn't fit to continue. So, punch resistance is definitely not gone, but he needs to assess his attributes and how he can implement his attributes, because he came up against a guy that was equally as big, equally as strong, a harder puncher than him, with a little bit more skill in the southpaw stance, and he didn't get a chance to really showcase what his attribute is, and that's his fitness, letting things get into the second half of the fight. So tactically got it wrong, but I'm sure he can come again. I know he's 38, but he didn't start boxing until he was about 20 or 21. I don't think so. There isn't that many miles on the clock. If I was working with him, I would be saying, drop your weight a little bit, find that sweet spot where you're agile and mobile, because really, like he's never going to be a lateral. He's never going to be able to stand in front and move his head and slip and slide and block shots. He's got the ability to move his feet to get out of range, and he should have been working on that, trying to offset, because Zhang is so heavy-handed. Him hitting fresh air for 4 or 5 rounds tires him out. Then you got to chip away, you know what I mean? Chip away and try and get him late. And even if you don't get him late, just bank enough rounds so you win on points. This game's about small margins at the top. If you win 7-5 in points on a split decision or something, you know what I mean? Then you got to win and you can move on, and you've reinstated yourself as one of the top 3-4 in the division. But he's now pushed back down the ladder.
Does a Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois 2 rematch make sense now more than ever?
Yeah, I think so. Daniel put on a good show. Build it up. Do you know what I mean? They should each box someone that's, do a double headline or something. Build some interest there. Get 2 knockout wins, and then do it probably early next year. Why not?
Of the top 4 fighters in the heavyweight division, which of these would you pick Zhang to beat? Wilder, Fury, Joshua, or Usyk?
I think Fury beats him. I think Fury would do what I just said, like nullify him early, tire him out, and just chip away. I don't know if he'll stop him, but I think he would. Just beat him quite wide on points. I think Usyk would beat him wide on points. I know Zhang's extremely heavy-handed, but he sets his feet too much for me. He looks great when guys stand in front of him, but Usyk will never be there. And I can't remember who else you mentioned. Who else did you mention?
Oh, sorry. Fury, Usyk, AJ, Wilder.
Yeah, I think AJ has underrated boxing ability. I think he probably beat him as well. It'd be dangerous. He might get hit and hurt throughout the fight, but my gut would say that he would beat him as well. And Wilder won for me. I think he'd either fold Zhang in 1 or 2 rounds, or could go the other way.
Get your quick prediction on Canelo versus Charlo as well this weekend.
Yeah, I think someone that's over the years, traditionally people that have given Canelo problems are Lara, Bivol, good movers, and Charlo for me holds his feet too much. He uses his shoulder rolls, and stands there and tries to load up with shots. And I think when you're in against a guy it's making you miss by small margins like Canelo does, I think, especially when you're naturally heavy-handed like Charlo, I think he'll gas out, and I think Canelo might get to him late on. Probably body shots will be a telling factor, but great fight at the same time. I know there's a big weight discrepancy on paper, but really Canelo is a 160 and Charlo's a massive 154 that needs to go to 160. So it's a really entertaining fight, and it's great for boxing. And I think it'd be interesting to see how much hunger Canelo has left.
Finally, I'd be remiss to not mention the first half of your leg on Saturday night. That'd been Ellie. Yeah, don't worry, I was going to mention it. Ellie Scotney. Look, the growth for her and her confidence as well too, and the big fights too coming for her. Obviously, she got to get through Saturday night, but a lot in her future too.
Yeah, listen, I'm so excited about her career. She's got unification up next. Albeit that we get through this fight with no marks, no injuries, and with a decent performance. We want her to get pushed on and push up that ladder. And I think unification fights for females are a must. She wants that undisputed title at 122 pounds before moving up to 126. And Eddie's got the I think she's Venezuelan girl or Argentinian girl as well. So So he's got 2 of the world champions there that we can fight, and obviously the WBC, the Mexican girl as well is an option. So there's some great fights there for her, and I'm really happy that she's in a good place and she's boxing on Saturday, and we need to stay busy now after that.
Shane, thanks for speaking to Seconds Out. All the best for this weekend.
Cheers,
thanks for speaking to me.